Hi, I'm Jesus, and about 2 months ago, I released a video where I made a 3-part prediction about a now quite infamous holo sticker. Firstly, I suggested that during the sticker sale, lots of people are going to invest in it. Secondly, I also predicted that its price would drop after the sale ended, and then finally, I predicted that gradually, over a year or so, its price would recover to a respectable level. And as for what a respectable level is, well, I was deliberately vague because trying to predict the price of something in a year is fucking stupid, but I did think its price would probably go back up. Now, I got 2.5 of those things right. Unfortunately though, the half a thing I got wrong was pretty dramatic. So yes, tons of people invested in these things. Its price was anything from $11 to $8 during the sticker sale, which is ridiculous for a holo, and the price did kind of fall off after the Steam sale. There was a brief little hype spike afterwards, back up to about $10, but then it dropped off to about $7, which isn't actually that huge a fall, but you're definitely not making money from that either. And I was also kind of right about the price going back up afterward. The problem is though, I was wrong about the timeline because it hasn't taken a year, it's taken about a month, and the price is already at about $15, which is all a bit unprecedented. I can't think of another sticker that's been hyped up, crashed in price shortly after going off sale, and then recovered within such a short space of time. In fact, the best analogy I can think of is actually the Gamescom case from PUBG, which we'll get back to later, but first of all, let's just have a look at the sticker a bit more closely. Now, you can see the points where the price has skyrocketed. 3 individual spots where the price went up, then flatlined for a bit before being pushed up again. Now, these sorts of movements don't occur due to natural demand from consumers. If this was all organic demand, you'd see a relatively smooth line upwards. This is anything but smooth, and it's being driven by investors stocking up or even consciously trying to force the price up, which isn't that hard when there's only about 800 stickers on the market and a daily volume of about 100. You can easily exert quite a bit of influence over that. And another big giveaway that this is happening is that after the third time, on April the 13th, the price fell off afterwards. It went so high that there were more people cashing out than there were buying, and this led to the price dropping back down quite a bit. Now, this does not mean the Furia Holo's price going up is unsustainable. A lot of items that get invested in CSGO do the same thing. Take the Hydra case for example. It's seen tons of the same stuff, tons of spikes, tons of drop-offs, but in the long run, its price has still gone up, and all the dips have turned out to just be blips on the radar. But the Hydra case isn't a brilliant comparison here for one particular reason. These things were discontinued without any warning and with an artificially restricted supply because of the way they were dropping. So it was essentially guaranteed from the get-go that they were going to go up in price. Furia Holos are really different to this. There was tons of warning they were going to be discontinued, investors could buy as many as they wanted or could afford, and on top of that, they were far more expensive than the Hydra case to begin with, which is where the Gamescom case becomes a good example. Because it's another item that was removed with plenty of warning, where there were plenty of chances to stock up, and it was also never 10 cents like the Hydra case was. It was always much more expensive, and what happened to it is fascinating, because when this thing was hot, people were divided into 2 camps. There was one group who felt this thing was a brilliant investment that would make them lots of money, and one group who thought it was a terrible investment because the demand for it was completely artificial and being driven mostly by investors. And what ended up happening is pretty fascinating. So after being discontinued, the price kind of dropped off a bit before absolutely skyrocketing. You could have tripled your money in a couple of months basically, and for the people who thought this was a great investment, well, this was vindication, or at least it certainly was if you sold around this point. But there was a catch. You see, all those people saying the demand for these things is artificial and the price won't stay up, well, funnily enough, they were right at the same time. And once PUBG started to slow down and the market for investing in it cooled off, well, Gamescom cases completely and utterly died. Their price plummeted. In fact, they're literally worth only about 40 cents today. But what's fascinating about this whole, episode is it shows the paradox of investing. You can be right for the wrong reasons and wrong for the right reasons. And I think, looking at this as a whole, there is an important lesson for anyone who's invested in Furia Holos, because we don't have a way to know where these stickers are going to go. We don't know how many people are actually sticking them on guns right now. We don't know how many people will be sticking them on guns in the future. We don't know how many are sitting around in people's inventories. We don't know all these important things. But what we do know is that investors have had a major impact on the price of this sticker so far. And thanks to the Gamescom case, we can see that this sort of demand can force up the price for extended periods of time, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee that it'll stay there. And this doesn't mean the Furia Holo is doomed to the same fate at all. It could be worth $50 in a year, I don't know, but it does show there's a risk that its price will ultimately fall back down. So if you're holding some Furia Holos, next time you see its price shoot up, my advice would be to have a think about cashing out part of your investment. Not necessarily all of it, but maybe 50% of them or so, because at the end of the day, you can be wrong for the right reasons, you can be right for the wrong reasons, but all that really counts is that you're making money rather than losing it. And in this scenario, I'd recommend hedging your bets. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your guts. I'm Jesus. Thanks for watching. See ya.